Hello, good evening, SM viewers. This is Satellite Media. If you are new to the channel, kindly like, share, subscribe, and please do not forget to hit the notification bell. Let us look at this issue concerning the reported killing and burning of 16 travelers in Edo State, Uromi to be precise, who were reportedly traveling from Port Harcourt en route northern part of the country. The particular reason I'm making this video is because the issues that needed to be addressed for you to see a stop, in order not to see a repeat of this, is not being discussed. I've seen different conversation around different platforms, different social media platforms, particularly Twitter. Nobody is discussing what needs to be done for us to stop seeing things of this nature. Of course, that's the reason I'm making this video. Number one, we understand that it behoves on the government to protect lives and property, and this they do through the Nigerian police and other sister agencies of government, because there is always need for intelligence sharing and all that. And again, when this issue happened, the people who arrested or who accosted the 16 travelers, do we say they are ignorant that there is a police that needed to be reported to? I don't think they are ignorant. I think the reason perhaps they did not report to police is because they do not have confidence in the ability of the police to do justice. So that is number one. So it goes to show that the government needs to have a lot to do in terms of building confidence in the public that if anything happens, trust the police, allow the police to do investigation, hand over whatever suspect. Of course, that's the right thing to do anyway. Hand over whatever suspect to the police for investigation and prosecution. Because if the people have the confidence that if they hand the suspects over to the police, that the police will be able to do justice, I don't think they will take laws into their hands. Because what happened is practically taking law into one's hands. I've seen conversation around people trying to compare what happened with Deborah and this particular one. But what I want to say is, anywhere you see barbaric action, anywhere you see gruesome murder, is condemnable, whether in the northern part of the country or in the southern part of the country. Because we understand that the major reason the people may have done this is, number one, that just like I said, the confidence in, lack of confidence in the authorities to do the right thing and perhaps for people to get justice. That is one. Then the major one has to do with the Fulani military. Because we understand that Fulani military have been hibernating in forests, in bushes, and hitherto before now, it happens solely in the north. But currently, we are seeing it happening in the southern part of the country. Remember that recently, we had a situation where the governors of the southwestern part of the country raised alarm that the bandits who have been dislodged in the north are hibernating in southwestern forests. A situation that made Amateku to raise over 2,000 men to comb southwestern forests as a way of dislodging them. So the point is, the government, as a matter of urgency and necessity, need to address the issue of insecurity, particularly the issue of Fulani military. Let's going into the angle of global terrorism deaths. Of course, we know they gave Fulani military a position in Nigeria, or no, globally anyway. But the point here is, as a government, you have to possess monopoly of coercive power to deal with this type of threats. Because the excesses of Fulani military is not just restricted to the north currently. Even in Delta State, we are seeing it. Recently, we saw issue in Ebonyi State. We saw another one in Delta State. We saw in Benue State. So the reason the people may have done this is perhaps because of the essence of Fulani military. Though that is not a justification to take law into your hands. But the point I'm making here is, if the government is able to address the issue of killer henchmen, Fulani military, who move with sophisticated weapons, who hibernate in forests and bushes, kill, maim, and destroy lives and property, if government is able to address it, I don't think anybody in any part of the country will see a suspected henchman or whoever is suspected to be anything and take law into his hands and perhaps do the unthinkable to the person. So I think this is an avenue for the government to even think out of the box and see that there is need to rejig our security architecture. We have talked about the issue of allowing state police to work, because I think that is the way to go if you ask me, because currently everybody agree that crime is local, and if crime is local, they will agree that every crime perpetrated in a particular area is peculiar to that area, and that people who are in that area know the terrain better. So it's going to show that if you allow state police to strive, it will address a whole lot of things. Another issue has to do with the current arrangement in the Southwest and maybe a similar arrangement that we'll have in the other region, talking about Amateku, and building capacity to be able to challenge the emerging threats. I think that has to do with the state governments collaborating with the federal government, particularly the Office of the National Security Advisor, that has the power to allow those security arrangements at that level to be armed. I think there's need for that synergy. Because even if you have Amateku, for instance, in place, if they don't have capacity to address this challenge, I don't think the whole essence of establishing it may have been defeated. We have seen in the past, in the time of the former governor of Ondo State, talking about Akeredolu, who even challenged the then president, talking about Muhammadu Buhari, that if you could allow civilian JTF in the north to be armed, what stopped us from allowing Amateku, of course, a body created by out-of-state House of Assembly, to be armed? So I think we should get to the point where the federal government should understand that the demand for rejigging of security architecture is not self-serving, because I understand that the fear of federal government is disintegration and abuse of power, perhaps by state governments. That I fear is not totally misplaced, but we cannot throw away the baby with the bathwater. Because if we have fear that the state governors will abuse the power of state police, the owner say we should continue to live at the mercy of these marauding Fulani militias and other criminal elements who, of course, even the then president Muhammadu Buhari admitted that these are Fulanis who move from different parts of the world, not just Nigerian Fulani, perhaps from Mali, Burkina Faso, Niger, and find their way into Nigeria. I understand that we have a porous border, but that notwithstanding, as a government, you must be able to possess monopoly of coercive power. That is what makes you ultimate. And I understand that if you even look at what is happening in Zamfara State, a situation where a Toji Bello, who the other time burned down a military vehicle, I know the army, the military have claimed that they are closing on him and that it's a matter of time he will be arrested. I think I believe it, but however I look at it, the man is still moving around. He have not been arrested, and he's still within Nigerian sovereignty. So it's going to show that as a government, as a people, the government need to possess monopoly of coercive power. I cannot forget in a hurry how American government the other time came all the way from their country to rescue a 27-year-old Philip Wanton, who was perhaps kidnapped in Nigeria, taken to Nigeria, I think Sokoto or so. And American Special Forces, I think Navy SEAL or so, came here and they rescued him unharmed. That's what we call capacity. So as a people, as a country, we must build capacity. We then taste synergizing, collaborating with our foreign partners to build that capacity. I think it is not out of place. But however I look at it, we must build that capacity. Because until we get to that point, unfortunately, we might see a repeat of that Uromi 16. A situation that is coming out to mean Uromi 16, like we used to have with the apostles. So I think for us to ensure that there is no repeat of such, we must, as a people, as a country, build capacity to the point where you possess monopoly of coercive power, so that the likes of Toji Bello, the likes of ISWAP, the likes of Boko Haram cannot be hibernating in our forests, in our bushes, wreaking havoc, kidnapping, maiming, collecting ransom. I think when we saw the report from National Bureau of Statistics the other time, talking about the amount of money Nigerians have used to pay ransom within a given period that ran into about 3.7 trillion naira. That is quite alarming. I think that speaks volume of what Nigerians are passing through. So the issue is, at this point, the buck rests with the governments, who of course have the responsibility to protect lives and property. We understand that the president goes by the name of the president and the commander of the armed forces. That squarely gives him the responsibility to protect lives and property. And if you look at the governors of the states, they go by the name of the nomenclature of the governor and the security officer of their respective states. So I'm of the view that the governor should not just go by that name, that the governors should be allowed to parade some level of security power. Because you cannot just answer the governor and the chief security officer of the state without having any security power. Of course, it may mockery of the name of the office if you see your people being maimed and you are handicapped because you do not command the flight, just like a Jordan Jang would say in the past as the governor of Plateau State, that though he's the governor of the state, he did not command the fly. We have equally seen the former governor of Rivers State, talking about Yosowike, saying that he's the chief logistic officer of the state instead of the chief security officer of the state. I think this is not far-fetched because he could look around and see that he don't even command all the security apparatus in his state. So going forward, I think there's every need for every stakeholder to come on board and chart the way forward so that we can see a stop to this. Thank you very much. This is Let Me Down. I'm Samat.